The Jehovah's Witnesses religion has totally lost it. Totally lost it. I think the downfall of Jehovah's Witnesses has confused the members of the governing body. I'm going to show you why I think that the members of the governing body are so confused because of their downfall. It's amazing how that at one time Jehovah's Witnesses boasted of being a religion that was steadfast with firm doctrines that are not wish-washy. They knew what they believed in, and even if they were wrong doctrines, all the same they believed in these doctrines as being true. But over the years, Jehovah's Witnesses doctrines have been changing like people change clothes. Then we have the resurrection revisions. JW yesterday responded to my video entitled The Shocking Psychology of Jehovah's Witnesses. And he claimed that the core doctrines of Jehovah's Witnesses have not changed. So what they are struggling with are minor doctrines. Jesus also said, "He who cannot be trusted with little cannot be trusted with plenty." In other words, my interpretation of that is that if the Jehovah's Witnesses cannot be trusted in what they call minor doctrines, how can we trust them in major doctrines? If their minor doctrines are not true, how can we say that the major doctrines are actually true? Resurrection doctrines has seen similar shifts. Jehovah's Witnesses once taught that those who perished in the flood or Sodom and Gomorrah had no hope for resurrection. Recently, this teaching was revised, suggesting that some of these individuals may receive a second chance. This change appears to contradict scriptures like Hebrews 9 verse 27, which states, "It is appointed for men to die once. After this comes judgment." How can a doctrine change so drastically without undermining confidence in its earlier truths? Jehovah's Witness is the only organization whose truth keeps on being revised. Let's listen to this clip.
But have you ever asked a similar question? Maybe when you were just coming into the truth? Have you ever asked, for example, will none of those who died in the flood get a resurrection? Even those who may never have heard of Noah? And what about Sodom and Gomorrah? Will everyone who died in Sodom and Gomorrah sleep an everlasting sleep? The women, the children, babies. And was there not one redeemable Assyrian soldier in that band of 185,000 who died at the hand of Jehovah's angel? We don't have the answer to those questions. But we do know one thing. The merciful judge of all the earth will do what is right. Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? We don't have the answer to those questions? I thought we did. In the past, our publications have stated that there's no hope of a resurrection for those who died in the flood or those destroyed in Sodom and Gomorrah. But do we really know that? The men of Sodom and Gomorrah were certainly wicked, and they deserved to die for what they did. But did they know any better? How often did Lot and his family preach to them? And are we saying that if special pioneers had been assigned to Sodom, that they would have had no success whatsoever in preaching to the Sodomites, helping them to turn around and come to a knowledge of Jehovah? Can we say dogmatically that not one Sodomite would have repented if Jehovah's requirements have been explained? Now, Noah's contemporaries certainly were wicked. The Bible says that man's wickedness was great on the earth, and every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only bad all the time. So those living at that time were sinners. But did they all get a thorough witness? Well, what's the takeaway from this talk so far? How would you explain it to someone who wasn't here today? You would not say, Some who died in Sodom and Gomorrah and in the flood are going to be resurrected, and Solomon isn't going to be resurrected. No, 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 you wouldn't say that. What we're saying is that we shouldn't be dogmatic about who will and who will not be resurrected. We just don't know. But we trust Jehovah God. We trust Jesus Christ that they will do what is right.
If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notice bell so that every time I upload a new video, you will be notified. And then there's the shifting focus on Armageddon. Jehovah's Witnesses have long declared that Armageddon is imminent, urging members to remain vigilant. Yet recent years have seen a noticeable shift away from this agency. You cannot remove Armageddon and still have Jehovah's Witnesses. And you cannot delay Armageddon because this is the bedrock of their doctrine. It creates agency, a sense of agency. They've preached this, they've pushed this, and members have committed themselves because of the urgency of Armageddon anytime. As we've seen in this video, the young man in this drama said, "Why did I have to change if the end was not near?"
Did you get a chance to read the links I sent you?
Of course I read it.
And?
It's exciting to think we could be so close.
And when you watch the news, you realize it could be any day now.
What's all the excitement?
The cry of peace and security.
Thanks again for sharing.
See you.
Tulani, remember Jesus said, no one knows the day or hour.
But he said we should keep on the watch.
I think it's great you keeping the end close in mind.
Because of you and Linda. Both of you have shown me how close we really are.
I have to take this quickly, but I'll see you on Friday. I saw what was happening in the world, and you both helped me put it all together.
We just want to be sure you are focused on the right things.
We can all start thinking too much about when the end will come.
But I'm just being alert. Isn't that what you taught me to do?
Alert is good.
And if the end is really so far off, why did I need to change my life now?
You are asking the right questions. There was a moment in our lives when we focused too much on the when rather than the why we were serving Jehovah. It affected our zeal, our happiness, our perspective. And we'd never want that for you.
If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notice bell so that every time I upload a new video, you will be notified. And it's a misconception because we don't love God because of the danger. We don't change because of the danger, because we are afraid of Armageddon. Even without Armageddon, without hell, sin itself is judgment enough. So you don't have to change because of hell. A former workmate years ago in the mid-90s told me, without hell, some people would not be Christians. Of course, maybe at the beginning you might fear hell, but afterwards you must be drawn to the love of God. Jehovah's Witnesses have long declared that Armageddon is imminent, urging members to remain vigilant. Yet recent years I've seen a noticeable shift away from these agents. Today they focus on self-help messages like becoming the person Jehovah wants you to be.
This is the answer.
Since all these things are to be dissolved in this way, consider what sort of people you ought to be in holy acts of conduct and deeds of godly devotion.
We don't know when the end will come. Could be tomorrow. Could take a little longer. But what matters is the kind of person we are when it comes. So focus on your love for Jehovah, His organization, His work. Take the excitement you have and direct it the right way.
This change has caused members to wonder, is the organization hedging its bets because they no longer believe in their own prophetic agency? Now let's talk about materialism. The organization condemns materialism, urging members to lead modest lives and donate generously. However, the Watchtower has amassed billions of dollars in assets, including investments in industry they openly condemn. Harriet M. Rary Trust, which donates exclusively to the organization, holds investments in tobacco companies like Philip Morris and weapons manufacturers. This blatant hypocrisy leaves members questioning the integrity of their leadership. Years ago, I bought shares, the group shares, which were held by the government, and the government offloaded them to its citizens in my country. And I realized that some of those shares included cigarette manufacturers, beer producers, and I was very uncomfortable. My conscience could not allow me. I sold off those shares because they were block shares. You could not buy one without the other, but I sold off those shares. But Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in wars, don't believe in tobacco, don't believe in all these things, and yet they accept donations from trusts that heavily invest in the things that they condemn. This information, you'll find it on avoidjw.org. Meanwhile, they are telling their members to live a humble life, to live a modest life, but the members of the governing body live in luxury, as one member said. Former one ex-member says they live in luxury. Matthew 25:31, invisible reign. Matthew 25:31 states that when the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all his angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. Jehovah's Witnesses teach that Christ's reign began invisibly in 1914. Yet this verse clearly describes a visible and public event. How does an invisible reign align with the vivid imagery presented in this scripture? This contradiction calls into question the credibility of their core teachings about Christ's return. Jehovah's Witnesses were once a beacon of certainty, a beacon of light that shined in the dark world. But today, their flip-flop doctrines, the constantly changing doctrines, are raising serious doubts, not only for critics, but for members alike. How can the organization that says it hears from God keep on changing these doctrines? If God is revealing something that is totally opposite to what they were teaching, does it mean God that time was lying and now he's telling them the truth? If what they said was not true, how can we believe that what they are saying now is true? Once a beacon of certain, Jehovah's Witnesses now grapple with failed prophecies, doctrine reversals, and internal contradictions. As members reflect on these changes, many are left to wonder, is this truth or the path to confusion has become irreversible? How many members does Jehovah's Witnesses lost as a result of these flip-flop doctrines and constant changing of their doctrines? So many have said on my channel about just how they could no longer continue to believe in these flip-flop doctrines of Jehovah's Witnesses. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notice bell so that every time I upload a new video, you will be notified. If you have any questions, you are seeking clarifications, or you don't agree with what I've said, you want to challenge what I've said, please put them in the comment section below. If you think that this video will benefit another person, please share with as many people as possible. If you have not watched part 1 of this video, click on this link. To watch other videos about the collapse of the Jehovah's Witnesses, click on this link.